So in the year 1904, a German soil scientist or a soil microbiologist, so who was studying with the plant and plant root system. So he has coined a term called rhizosphere. So to denote, so he coined the term rhizosphere to denote the such region of the soil, so which is subjected to the influence of plant root. So here you can see, so he said the soil, if you can able to see the picture here, so there are roots here. So and the roots is, there are some soil which is adhering closely to these roots. Okay. So the Hiltner-Kyle rhizosphere to denote the soil, the immediate surrounding soil, so which is influenced by these roots. So I will tell you how these roots are going to influence the soil surrounding the root. Okay.
ಟೇಬಲ್ ತರ ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಹಂಗಾಗಿದೆ ಟೇಬಲ್ ತರ ಫೀಲ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ.
So here, okay, before going to the definition, I would like to tell, so the rhizosphere, so the plant roots are going to influence the soil which is surrounding the roots, soil which is surrounding these roots by its chemical activities. That means, so the plant root releases some of the nutrients which is synthesized photosynthetically by the plant, so into the soil through roots. So these photosynthetes are called as root exudates. Okay. So plant, I'll come back to this. So this is a plant. So this is a plant root. So the plant, through the plant roots, so the plant releases some of the photosynthetic material or food material into the soil. So the amount of the photosynthetes released into the soil by roots is almost equivalent to 40% of the food that is produced. So that means 40% of the food synthesized by the plants through photosynthesis is released into the soil as root exudates. Okay. So I will tell you why it releases later on. So these root exudates are the rich source of nutrient for the microorganisms in the soil. And these nutrients will travel from the root tips, it will travel some distance in the soil. So up to which distance these molecules or the sugars or nutrients released by the plants travel. So till that distance, so because of the availability of the increased amount of nutrients, the microbial activity will increases. So since there is availability of more nutrients, so more and more microorganisms will start growing. So they will multiply in a large scale and their population density will increase and also their activity will increase. So because of the availability of the nutrients. So here, what Hiltner tried to say is, so these roots, the plant roots, by producing the root exudates, which are rich in nutrients, are going to influence the number of microorganisms and also the activity of microorganisms compared to the soil away from the rhizosphere or compared to non-rhizosphere soil. Okay. So he is trying to say that, so up to which distance, so from the surface of the root, up to which distance, so these chemicals or nutrients produced by the plants will travel and influence the activity, growth and activity of the microorganism. So that region he called it as, or he termed it as a rhizosphere. Okay, I hope you understood. So now I'll come back to the definition. So different scientists given different definitions for rhizosphere. I'll just read out. So one of the easiest definition which can be understood easily is, so the region of the soil surrounding the roots which is subjected to the influence of plant roots can be called as rhizosphere. I will repeat. The region of the soil surrounding the roots, which is subjected to the influence of the plant roots, is called as rhizosphere. I'll give another definition given by another scientist. The region extending few millimeters from the surface of each root, in which the microbial population of the soil is influenced by chemical activities of the plant. Okay, I will repeat. The region extending few millimeters from the surface of each root, in which microbial population of the soil is influenced by chemical activities of the plant. This is the definition of rhizosphere. And as I said earlier, the two soil microbiologists are the microorganisms present in the soil. So rhizosphere is a vital region. So you will find a greatest variety or greatest diversity of microorganisms, and also the greater number of microorganisms and intense activity of microorganisms in the rhizosphere. So that means to say that rhizosphere contain more number of microorganisms and also more types of microorganisms compared to any other region. Compared to any other region is non-rhizosphere soil or other habitats of the microorganisms. And this intense activity of microorganisms in the rhizosphere is because the plant produces or plant releases nutrients through roots, so which is called as a root exudates. So in soil, root exudates are the richest and diverse source of nutrients for microorganisms. So they contain different variety of nutrients, so which are required by the microorganisms. Okay, so because of which the activity of microorganisms and also the number of microorganisms will be more in rhizosphere. Okay, so this I think I have already explained. So here, so you can see so you may have a question that why plant releases approximately 40% of the nutrients produced by it into the soil. Why it is going to waste the nutrients by releasing into the soil? So because there are many reasons why plant releases the photosynthesis, which is produced by spending a lot of energy into the soil. So because here the root exudates also contain many signal molecules. Along with the food, plant also releases many signal molecules to attract many beneficial microorganisms. So I think now you know that there are many beneficial microorganisms which helps plants in many ways. For example, you might have been knowing about rhizobium, so which will form a symbiotic association with legumes, which forms nodules, which will fix the nitrogen. This is beneficial for plant. You may be knowing about phosphate solubilizing microorganisms, so which convert unavailable form of phosphorus to available form of phosphorus. So it will send a signal to these microorganisms to come and stay near the root zone, so that more phosphorus will be made available for the plant root to uptake. Similarly, there is a mycorrhiza. You have studied about mycorrhiza, so which will form a symbiotic association with the plant roots. So it will send the signal to the mycorrhiza, say that, so my roots are here, so you can come and associate with me. So mycorrhiza, once it's get infected or associated, it can provide nutrient from distant places under stress, under nutrient stress and under water stress. So like this, and also there will be many organic nutrients which are present in the root zone. You apply many organic, green leaves or organic manure or FIM, anything into the plant roots, but plant cannot take up the nutrients as such from the organic matter, because they are not in the plant available form. They are not mineralized. So they attract mineralizing microorganisms. Okay, they attract mineralizing microorganisms which will come to the root zone, so which will stay there, which will degrade or which will mineralize the organic matter into the plant uptakeable form of minerals. So like this, so roots create a factory of workers. So to make its function easier, means to make more nutrient available to it in the available form. So, and also the presence of beneficial microorganisms will also act or will also fight against any pathogenic microorganisms. So by producing antibiotic, so they will fight off the unwanted microorganism. So apart from this, the microorganisms which are present in the root zone will also produce many growth promoting substances like gibberellins, then cytokinins, which will enhance the root growth as well as shoot growth. So like this, so roots want to create a factory of workers by using microorganisms. So microorganisms are the workers in a factory. So for these workers, the nutrients are supplied by the roots. So they will work for the plant. So this is the mechanism. So because of which plant releases 40% of the nutrients to the soil to feed the microorganisms which are habitated around the root zone. Okay. So here you can see the photograph depicting the colonization of microorganisms on the root. So here the majority of the roots will be colonized on the roots or near the roots. So and even some microorganisms have colonized inside the root in cortical cell. So not only in the rhizosphere, they are also colonized inside the root in cortical cells. Okay, we'll come back to that. So, and the scientists, so after the phenomena of rhizosphere was explained by Hiltner, many soil scientists have started studying on rhizosphere. So with this time, so they have come up with many phenomena or terminologies. So which there are 2-3 terminologies which you need to understand. So before going to that, so this is the morphology of the root. This root morphology of any plant. So you'll just see. So this is the central main root. So and in this main root, this is the central stele, and this is the cortex region, and these are the lateral roots or root fibers or secondary roots, you can say. And all over the roots, there will be a deposition of mucilage. This is the mucilage that is deposited on the root, and below you can see the root tip. So this is the root tip, and this is the root cap. So this is the growing region of the root. So here the root tip is surrounded by a mucilage. A thick mucilage is surrounded in the root tip and root cap. And this mucilage may also contain the field of or the dead cells which are coming out from the root tip or field of roots. Okay. And this is the mucilage. And here the region surrounding this root, which is marked in dotted lines, is termed as a rhizosphere. It can be termed as rhizosphere. So this is the morphology of the root. So there are, I was telling you that there are few terminologies, so which is given by few scientists, which you need to study and understand. So rhizosphere is further divided into some more spheres by some of the scientists who are studying on rhizosphere. So first one is ectorhizosphere. Ecto means outside, ectorhizosphere. So they say that it includes rhizosphere from outside the surface of the root. So from this surface of, from this surface of the root till which place the root exudate influence the activity of microorganism, it is called as ectorhizosphere. Okay. So they say that it is the region from the surface of the root or rhizosplane to the bulk of the soil surrounding the root, which is subjected to the influence by root exudate, is called as ectorhizosphere. Or the area from surface of the roots that is colonized, the area from the surface of the root that is colonized and influenced by the chemical activity of the root is called as ectorhizosphere. So there is another terminology which is given by another scientist, which is called as endorhizosphere. I was telling you that some microorganisms are also colonized inside the root. The inside portion of the root colonized by microorganism. Here, the inside portion of the root that is colonized by microorganisms is called as endorhizosphere. Okay, here usually the microorganisms will be colonized in outer cortical cells. That is just below the epidermis, whatever the cortical cells are there in outer side. So they are usually colonized by microorganisms. So this inside portion of the root colonized by microorganisms is called as ectorhizosphere. I'm sorry, endorhizosphere. Similarly, so there is one scientist called F.E. Clark. F.E. Clark in 1949, he said that, so just the surface of the root along with the closely adhering soil particles, so they also provide, or they are different from other environment. There will be a micro environment which is present here, so which will also influence the activity of microorganism differently. So he termed this surface of the root along with the closely adhering soil colonized by microorganism as rhizoplane. Rhizoplane means the surface of the root along with the closely adhering soils, so which is colonized by microorganism, is called as rhizoplane.